Apex is getting swimsuits? Counter-Strike 2 is real. VTubers are doing your taxes. It's my first show, so please be nice. My name's Alec, I talk about games, and here's the Hoot. Welcome to the very first Hoot, everybody. It's a show where I go over the latest gaming news or things you might have missed or I find interesting. That way you can take it back to your Discord with an angle or perspective to make your friends think you are so smart at gaming. I got no sponsors today, so let's go right into the segment that I like to call Party Chat. We got 6 today, let's see what we got. The first story is the one that swept everybody that's somewhat familiar with competitive shooting gaming or even just PC gaming. Counter-Strike 2 is official. There's plenty of leaks and rumors leading up to this event, but it's nice to finally have it in the open and to be official. It's already entered into playtest. Who knows when it'll have its actual release, but for now we have some features and more to come. The first one, and a major one, is reactive and dynamic smokes. They'll take on the shape of the space if they're thrown in somewhere, and they even react to gunfire, the lighting, grenade clearing. In a game with important one-ways, this definitely changes a lot of gameplay dynamics. An innovation I didn't know was actually possible. Granted, I'm not a huge techie guy. A system that makes it easier for me to understand is basically unlimited tick rate. Previously it was fixed at about 64, but now each individual click, gunfire, step is all tracked individually, so everything happens in real time for everybody. The moment you do it, it's live. Then with any iteration or sequel is going to be map changes, and they're doing it in 3 different ways. Touchstones are going to be very minor with some modern upgrades, and then there's upgrades which adds more features, more modern things to do, and is a little bit more than Touchstone, but not a complete overhaul, because that's what overhauls are, built from the ground up. And it'll be for different stages slowly at a time, and of course hopefully we get new ones. This is just the beginning of what Valve wants to do, and surely we'll see more over more playtests and over time. Yes, everything carries over from Counter-Strike. Now, with a game that's truly never died and only gets bigger, it's interesting to see Valve really ride the wave of their popularity and iterate on a new engine. And the obvious joke, we're never gonna get Counter-Strike 3 because that's how Valve does everything. But could Team Fortress get some love? Because we tried to ban some bots, but I still feel like it really needs a lot of love. Second member of the Hoot today is gonna be a competing announcement that came out and really will revolutionize gaming in another way. Fortnite Creative 2.0 or Unreal Editor for Fortnite. Epic is giving access to players to create maps in their own game mode similar to how they make games, but there's also the inclusion of importing custom assets. It feels like we can reach the glory days of what Halo 3 Forge really was. We've already seen first-person Fortnite, which plays like Call of Duty. We literally have a Rust map. I wonder though how it's going to compare to Roblox Call of Duty. But it's not only that, there's so many different game types. We're seeing things like escape rooms, hide and seek. There's a race between large groups to see who can truly make Fortnite Chapter 1, the original OG, but they're running out of room because they're so ambitious. Fortnite is already so big in the way it collabs, the way the gameplay just really never dies down and manages to find itself a renaissance all the time. But Fortnite is now going to step into an arc where it's a platform for creativity, where you can be playing Fortnite and you're never even going to touch the battle royale again, but that game can last on forever. Fortnite truly has potential to be the biggest and greatest game ever, or how big it is, how many people can play, and how accessible it is. It's a free game that can do so much more than your typical. I just really want to see, can we get Dark Souls 3 inside of Fortnite? For number 3, let's move away from creative and get back into creatives. Let's talk about Twitch and some layoffs. It was announced earlier this week that Amazon was going to lay off about 9,000 positions, 400 plus of those coming from the Twitch division. And it starts to question, is Twitch doing okay, or is behind the scenes Twitch is hurting a little? It's still not quite sure how profitable, if at all, it is for Amazon. These layoffs come with the backdrop of Emmett Shear, previous CEO, one of the last remaining members of the Justin TV era, leaving for CEO and putting in Dan Clancy, and also the 50-50 revenue share, which hasn't been received super well with most big-time partners. With bigger creators, like the obvious one, Ludwig, Tim the Tapman, others leaving over to go with YouTube exclusive, it's no secret that they really try to focus on maybe these middle-tier partners that don't have to pull as much sway and don't want to fight for maybe these bigger contracts and are happy with what they have. But all those different ways they're trying with ads, all these different monetizations, the question is, how much does Twitch need to make money, and is it going to start hemorrhaging itself? I don't think kick will ever be an issue, nor do I think it will have a significant market share ever. But we also talk about, as soon as YouTube figures out discoverability and its queue, maybe it'll take over Twitch. But I don't even know right now if that's their priority, as much as YouTube is trying to make sure they can take down TikTok, Instagram Reels, and still be the place where you watch videos. I don't think Twitch is going to go anywhere, but the Twitch we know now, who knows where it's going to be in a couple years if changes keep happening. Number 4 isn't about Twitch dying, but it is still about dying. Let's talk about Elden Ring. Bandai Namco earlier this week released some stats about Elden Ring and the dev stats, the way players play. Total amount of deaths after a year is over 9 billion. 69% of that nice going to just Millennium. They break down the other ways to die to things like blood rot, getting invaded. There's a significant amount of people that just fall. They get into things people like to do, like how many summons happen, incantations, but also they show the most used spells, with Rock Sling being number 1. I think Crystal Torrent being number 2 is actually a sign that, hey, maybe each time you cast, because it's one of those you hold down and it shoots things, each time one is getting shot out, maybe that counts as a cast. And it's still not better than Rock Sling. You see how you stack up by going on Twitter or the Bandai Namco website to see the infographic yourself. Story not about dying, but actually about surviving. We got a Jedi Survivor Story trailer. Though it's a story trailer only because it has narration, and it really still feels like another small gameplay trailer, because we do get good gameplay bits. You see familiar faces like Marin come back, and you also wonder what enemies are coming back. Like, I'm really hoping Ogdo Bogdo shows up. But your companions also seem that they can be in battle, and it's not sure if it's just finishers. Is it going to be something like the Arkham games, wherever they just come in and you swap, or they fight alongside you? Is it going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, where you just call them in for combos? Is there going to be a meter? But it is nice that they're going to include more of your friends in the story. The one story bit that is interesting is Cal mentions this line about we're trying to find somewhere safe. The previous game was about trying to rebuild the Order, but obviously since it's within the Star Wars canon, they can't go and change as much. I'm not a breakdown guy, you can probably find a lot better sources, but that is something interesting, that maybe the tone and the idea behind the story has changed. And our sixth and last party member is going to be a 2-for-1 deal, kind of like a Pyra Mithra thing in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. 2 Apex stories this week. EA is opening a new branch of Respawn in Madison, Wisconsin. They'll have chances to work on Respawn products later, but their main focus and goal is to make sure Apex succeeds and it keeps going on for years and years to come. They want to target even 10 to 15 years for Apex, which is good because a lot of people are talking about, is Apex dying? Is Apex in a good place when it compares to things like Fortnite and Warzone? To help, they've hired industry veteran Ryan Burnett, who used to be with Raven Software and has worked on Call of Duty. Also, I don't know why they chose Madison, Wisconsin. I only have 2 ideas. Is either somebody really likes the Packers but hates Aaron Rodgers but now wants to go back to Packer games, or they're really into CrossFit and want to watch the CrossFit games. And then the other big Apex news, Apex puts out this tweet, 100,000 likes, and will release the coveted swimsuit outfits. You know which swimsuit outfit they probably wanted, and gamers are not happy. They've released some of the teasers and we're not getting caustic, so I, for one, am already upset. But obviously even the Loba one is not what people expected, and I don't know why they had their hopes up so high. But it does feel like the community was finally heard, but since they had these mock-ups made so fast, it's kind of like they already had it out there. I was also down for Mad Maggie though. That's all our party members for now. We'll be right back after a word from my sponsor. Earlier I said I don't have sponsors, which I don't, so I'm just putting in the segment for if anybody wants a sponsor, here's where it could go. I do have socials if you still want to support, but I mainly do short form on TikTok where I have the biggest following, and I am on Instagram if you want to see silly stories. I do have Twitter if you want to see silly notes and jokes by me, and if you want to see what random games I play, which is mainly TFT, but I do like to do stuff where I can voice act a lot, or competitive games, you can follow me on Twitch. Back to the show. Welcome back to the non-ad that I just put there. This segment is something that I like to call Boss Battle. It's where I'm going to tackle topics that I think are going on, bigger conversations, or just larger stories that I think are worth diving into more than a rundown. There's nothing crazy happening this week, so I want to take a quick moment to talk to you about who I am if you're not familiar, or if you do know who I am and you want to see what the bigger goals are. Up front, I want everyone to be completely honest with your feedback or your opinions if you disagree or think on things that I can improve on. I'm a small creator that's trying to do everything on my own. I edit the videos, I obviously record them myself, I'm learning it all on my own. I don't think I'd be this far, I've been doing this about a year, if I didn't enjoy what I was doing and if I didn't enjoy the learning process, and I need a bigger feedback loop. Look, not all my friends are gamers, and definitely none of my other friends really want to be creators, so I need that feedback from other people other than, good job, that's cute. Why am I doing all this? Because I do think YouTube can be a bigger platform, and I want to talk more, I want to grow a bigger community, but let's also be honest, everybody wants to create these big communities, everybody wants to foster a place, and I do too. I have a Discord, I want people to chat, I want to chat with people. I love talking about games, sometimes more than playing games, but to get down to it, and I think everybody would admit that they want this too, I want to live a life and a job where I get to sit back and talk and play games. It's the dream since I've had as a kid, and I realized one day, wow, I like talking and I like talking about games, so let's try it. So if you don't hate me so far, or if you think this is really fun, give it a shot. Right now, a subscribe and feedback is all I need. I've been dreaming about making this video and I want to do more, of course, and I need your feedback. Even tell me people that I could learn from. Look, if you found this video, you might might be familiar with some of my inspirations like Spawnwave or Kinda Funny. But I'm also, since getting into the creator journey, I'm learning about other creators. I didn't know who Arak was before I tried to be a creator. Now I listen to Colin Samir all the time. There's even gaming YouTubers that I've heard of or maybe didn't know of and have these followings that I'm now trying to learn. I never watched a Markiplier video before this year. Now I love him and his OnlyFans. I never knew who the Rad Brad was, and now I'm just like, wow, there are so many videos for me to watch. And I think one of my biggest inspirations is somebody that's just grinded and been consistent and grown is someone like a Chugga Conroy. What I'm saying is maybe you can help me grow if you give me some suggestions, but also give me feedback or just jump along for the journey. I know I said all that stuff about making money, but I do want to have fun talking to you about games and reminding you why games are fun. Taking down today's boss battle, let's get to the loot. Starting with new games announcements, Trash Team Rumble, announced last year at the Game Awards. It's a 4v4 Rumble combat fight 'em up game with your favorite characters from the Crash universe. Has a beta going on next month, and the official release date will be June 20th. LEGO 2K Drive, a worthy competitor to Forza. It's a racing game where you can build it with Legos on Lego tracks, and that's coming out May 19th. A new God of War inspired Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game sounds really cool, but it's not necessarily Ninja Turtles, but it's based on the graphic novel Ronin, and that is currently in development now. Did we potentially get a release date for Spider-Man 2? The voice actor for Venom in a now deleted tweet says that it should be coming around September with a big marketing push in August. He's old, so he pretty much just didn't care about breaking NDA, but we'll see how that goes later. A game that was released this week and then quickly taken off the Steam page, Tax Heaven 3000 was a dating sim that helped you do your taxes. It was made by Mischief, the people that made the Lil Nas X shoes with blood in it, and it really was a dating sim with anime girls helping you through your taxes. Potentially a security risk, but I don't actually know what was there. Mischief is normally pretty good at skirting that legal line, and now it's been taken off, and now I'm sad that I can't have a waifu to help me with my taxes. Lord of the Rings Gollum still exists. It's like a stealthy Lord of the Rings game where you play as Smeagol. I thought it kind of just died off and then it randomly came back in the news, but that's coming out on May the 25th. Extra XP is where I talk about upcoming videos, but since I'm just now starting more YouTube stuff, I don't have anything planned, but be on the lookout for that. And Level Up is where I like to give shout outs to creators or things happening in the gaming space that I think you should get your eyes on. By the time you see this, it'll be mostly over, but you can still see it or try to get the end of it, which is going to be Connor Dog voice actors CycleThon for charity. He's cycling all throughout Japan, raising money for a good cause. It's nice background noise, and it's kind of a cool thing he's doing, and I think if you have a chance, go on Twitch and check it out. I hope you enjoyed the first show. I am open to all feedback, anything that you want to say that you want to add, any stories I might have missed, or stories coming up that you want me to talk about. Help me hit my metrics. I'm trying to get to at least 1K subscribers before we can even think about monetizing. Hit me up on all my other socials, but if anything, I hope today I reminded you that, hey, games are still meant to be fun. My name's Alec. Thanks for talking games with me.